Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we've got a really exciting video. I'm going to be doing something that's been highly requested, and it's going to be rating my Gymshark shorts. So I have done a video like this, or kind of like a post like this on TikTok, and everyone always loves them and finds them really useful. So I thought I would do like a more in-depth one on my YouTube, just to go through some of the details, as I know Gymshark have a lot of shorts and just a lot of activewear in general, so it is kind of confusing and overwhelming to know what to get. So hopefully this video is going to help you out. So I've picked like one short of each collection to show you. I think there's only like 2 or 3 collections which I don't have, including, I did write them down, everyday shorts. I did have pocket shorts, but I can't find them anywhere. And then also the Gains collection, I don't have any of them, but I think I have most of the other, or at least most of the popular ones. The only other thing to note is that the colour I show you might not be available now. I feel like Gymshark do like swap colours quite regularly and like bring out new colours and don't restock old colours. So yeah, just think about this as going through the collections rather than like the exact colours. And don't forget, you can use my code TORIFIT10 to get an extra 10% off. But one thing I will say is that if you see this video within the first like few days of it being uploaded, I would like just hold off ordering, just for maybe a week. Something is coming, but I can't let you know anything yet. Yeah, you'll find out soon. I do have a lot. I think I have about 20 pairs, so I'm going to go through them like as quickly as possible. I don't want this video to be like 40 minutes long. So yeah, let's see if we can make this really snappy. Starting off with, I think, Gymshark's like staple OG collection. It's the Vital Seamless 2.0. So these are the Vital Seamless 2.0 shorts. These are really good for running and the gym. They're very compressive, especially around the waistband, because they have like a double thickness waistband basically, and it's ribbed, so it really does hold you in. It does also have this band like around the thigh, which again is a bit thicker and a bit tighter, so it does stay in place on your thigh, but that does also mean it is going to squish your thigh a bit more, so just something to take into account. One thing I love about these is that the material is sweat wicking. If you're looking for a short or any activewear that is sweat proof and you're not going to see a lot of sweat, definitely look into the Vital Seamless. I think this is the most sweat proof collection that Gymshark have got. These are also really breathable, and they do have like breathable material with the contouring going down the sides and then all around the back of the glute. The only thing with these is that they don't have a scrunch bum, so if you like a scrunch bum and your bum to look really flattering, these don't have that, but they do have a single seam running down the middle of your glutes just to help separate them a little bit more, which still makes them look flattering. I think these are about a 6-inch short, so they're not a short, but they're also not a cycling short, which I think is a really nice length, as you can pull them up and mold them to your body without them getting too short. And in terms of sizing, I would say stay true to size. Unless you are in between sizes, then I probably would suggest sizing up, just because of the compression on the waistband and then also around the thigh. But for rating for these, I think I would give them a 4 out of 5. Okay, next moving on to the Vital Sculpt shorts. These are very similar to the Vital 2.0, but these ones do have that scrunch bum on the back. So if you are looking for that, opt for the Vital Sculpt rather than the 2.0. The material is very similar. I would say that this is a little bit stretchier, a bit finer, and softer as well compared to the Vital Seamless, but very similar overall. They still have that really thick waistband with the tighter bands around the thigh. The only other main difference of these is that they are a little bit shorter. I think they're about a 5-inch, where the 2.0 is the 6. So you don't have as much material to mold to your body, but I don't find they ride up too much or are like a too short. I really like these as well, especially for the gym. I probably wouldn't wear them on runs as much, just because I don't think I need like a scrunch bum when I'm running. But they have really nice colours of these ones now, and they have brought out the solid colours, like, so where the Vital Seamless have a lot of like the washed out colours, these are like solid colours, which is nice. And then in terms of sizing, again, stay true to size unless you're in between, then I would suggest sizing up. And for these, again, I think I would rate them a 4 out of 5. Okay, next moving on to some of the newer collections. So yeah, Gymshark have recently brought out the Energized Seamless, which I actually think is my current favourite collection that Gymshark have. I just think it's so versatile, great for running, great for cardio, great for the gym. It's squat proof, so even this colour is squat proof. The material is really soft and stretchy, supportive but not too compressive, which I really like. So yeah, these are the shorts. They do have other colours if you don't want to stand out too much in the gym, but yeah, I do absolutely love this colour. So a really high waistband, again with the ribbing, but I wouldn't say it's as tight as Vital Seamless. Then they have the rib detailing going down the sides, all the way round to the back of the glutes. These don't have a scrunch bum, but they do have a really thick seam running down your glutes, which is really flattering. And as you can see, the seam starts all the way from the top of the waistband, which I don't think Gymshark have done before, or I haven't noticed, at least on these shorts, they normally start like under the waistband. But yeah, just a little bit different, and I do find they are really flattering. Again, really easy to mold to your body, and they also have the breathable holes in the material, if you can see here, which is really similar to Gymshark's old collection. I think it was called Energy. This is called Energized, so I'm pretty sure it's like the upgraded version of that. But yeah, just the little breathable holes is like an extra detail, which is really nice. Yeah, in terms of sizing for this one, I think I would say stay true to size, and if you're in between, base it on how you want them to fit. So if you want them to be more compressive, I would suggest sizing down. But if you want a bit more space, a bit more material to mold to your body, then probably size up. They are squat proof, so don't worry about them being sheer if you are going to size down. And for rating for these, I'm going to give these 5 out of 5. They are so good. Okay, next up we have the new Whitney shorts. Again, these are a new favourite of mine. They're like the Whitney leggings, but they've just made a short version, which is really nice. So they have that seam running around the waistband, all the way around into that V, and then down into that like subtle scrunch. I don't know how they've done the scrunch. It's like on the inside, if you can see that, which is really nice, really flattering. The material again is quite soft, kind of buttery, and it's still really stretchy. So yeah, really comfortable short that you can wear all day long. I have worn these to run in, and I will say they do ride up a little bit. So maybe better for like in the gym or doing your cardio like at the gym rather than running outside. But I do really love them. Again, they have that little bit of extra length, which means you can mold them to your body really nicely. But the thing I like most about these is that the band around the thighs isn't tight at all. I hate when things dig in on my thighs, but these don't at all. They're just really comfortable, and again, it's something you can wear all day long. So for these, I think I'm gonna give them a 4 out of 5, maybe losing a point for riding up. But yeah, a really staple short that you can wear for lots of occasions. Sticking with Whitney, we're gonna be looking at the Animal Whitney shorts. So again, these are some of my favorite shorts, and I do think Whitney's brought out a fair few like similar collections. Like they had the safari, then they made the animal, and then they came out with more animal colors. So yeah, this has like a snake print on like that, as you can see. The main feature of these is the scrunch. These are really flattering. I think these are my favorite shorts for the gym. They're just really supportive. They have that knitted material. It is a bit thicker, but it is stretchy as well, so it kind of holds you in all the right places. It molds to your body. You can still move really well, so it's giving compression but without being too restrictive. And I just think the print is really nice, like having that tonal print. It stands out, but then the pattern isn't going to be too much. And again, I think these are about a 6-inch short, so if you don't like short shorts, you're going to absolutely love these. In terms of sizing, I would say stay true to size, or size up if you're in between. These are a bit thicker and they do have more compression, so yeah, I wouldn't suggest sizing down in these. But yeah, overall a really good short, and I think I'm going to give them a 5 out of 5. Okay, another pair of shorts which I absolutely love for the gym, the Adapt Fleck shorts. So these are very similar material to the Adapt Animal. They are that thicker knitted kind of material, still stretchy but just a bit thicker, but these are a lot shorter. So I think these are about a 4-inch short compared to the Animal, which are a 6. Yeah, avoid these if you don't want something too short, because I will say these are very short, but they do exactly the same in terms of like holding you in and being supportive as the Adapt Animal. So yeah, another really good option. These don't have the scrunch though. They just have that single seam, kind of like the Vital Seamless, running down. So it's still going to give you something and make your glutes look flattering, but without having that full-on scrunch. The other thing I like about these is that the waistband is slightly shorter, so it's still really high-waisted. But if you've got a short torso like me, you're going to love these. And I find I have to roll a lot of my shorts down just because they're too long. But these are great. And then I think the only other thing to mention is the pattern. Again, I think Gymshark do really well with their patterns and like not standing out too much, but giving something a bit extra. Again, they've gone for like that tonal, those 2 tonal pinks, which is really nice. For sizing for these, stay true to size or size up if you're in between, again, because of that compression. And for rating, I think I'm going to give them a 4 out of 5. Next, we have the Adapt Camo shorts. These are some of my favorite shorts, but I never end up reaching for them. I think it's just because I have quite a few to rotate between, but every time I wear these, I absolutely love them. Unlike the Adapt Fleck, these are a lot stretchier. They do have that ribbing material, and I just find they aren't as compressive. So if you like something that's not as compressive, maybe go for the Adapt Camo rather than the Adapt Fleck or the Adapt Animal. Similar though in terms of the style. So they are a 4-inch short, so a shorter short, and they do have that slightly shorter waistband, even though it's still high-waisted. Again, they have that tonal print, which is just like a camo like that, and they do have the single seam down at the back of the glutes. I find I compare these shorts and this colour with nearly everything in my wardrobe, especially the minimal bras. Like all the colours of the minimal bras go really well with these shorts. In terms of sizing, stay true to size. Size up if you're in between because the compression around the waistband, but the rest of the short is very stretchy. And then for rating, I think I'm going to give them a 4 out of 5. I'm just dropping them up because I don't think I'd wear these on a run just because they are quite short, so I feel like I would just chafe in them. But yeah, overall a really good short for the gym. Okay, I feel like we're flying through. Next we have the Lift Contour, or I think they're now called Lift Seamless. They did change the name of these. The one thing I will say is I don't think they have this colour anymore, this light pink, but they do have a slightly darker pink which looks very similar. So these are your gym BBL shorts. The clue's in the name with like the lift and the contouring. These are your glute shorts. If you want to make your glutes look amazing, these are going to be the shorts for you. As you can see, they have the ribbing going down the side and then all the way round, literally all the way round each glute. So it is really going to separate your glutes and like lift them up and make them look amazing. I do know a few people who don't get on with these. I think because like obviously this is a very standard size and like not everyone's glutes are going to be the same, so they just have trouble with the sizing. But for me, they seem to work really well. They do also have a really big seam going down the middle which separates your glutes. I do find them really flattering and they hold your glutes up really well. The only thing to know about these is that the waistband is very thick. It is a knitted material and the double waistband is very thick and compressive. So if you aren't between sizes, definitely size up in these. But really supportive and perfect for leg days or glute days. I wouldn't run in these just because I feel like it's a bit much having this on display while you're running. But yeah, great for in the gym. For the length of these, they are about a 5-inch. So you still have a little room to play with, but they are not a cycling length short. And then for rating for these, I think I'm going to give them a 4 out of 5. Next up, I think we have the most underrated Gymshark collection, and that is the Legacy tight shorts. I just absolutely love these for in the gym, for doing your cardio, for running especially. They're really comfortable. It's like a silky soft material, really stretchy. They're not too thick, they're quite fine, and the waistband isn't too compressive. So like unlike all the other collections where they have like a double thickness on the waistband, these don't really, or like you can hardly tell the difference. So even though it does hold you in, it's not going to really compress you, which I think is really good for like running and cardio where you are going to be out of breath. You don't often want something that's going to be really tight around your waist. But yeah, I do absolutely love these. It's still super high waisted, they aren't too short, but they do have these adjustable cords on the side of the short which you can pull like this, as you can see, and it kind of ruches up to make them a bit shorter. But I also find by doing that, it helps them like stick to your legs more, so they're great for like not riding up when you're running. They do have the massive Gymshark Legacy print on the back, and then they have the V seam going down into the glutes, again just to give your glutes something without having that scrunch. But yeah, I do absolutely love these shorts. I feel like I reach for these so much. They're just a really comfortable short, but it's still going to give you a bit of support. In terms of sizing, stay true to size. If you are in between, base it on how you want them to fit again. So if you want something more compressive, then size down, but if you don't, size up. And for rating, I'm going to give these a 5 out of 5. Okay, next up, we have a similar short to the Legacies in terms of that material. So we still have that quite silky, stretchy material. These are the Elevate shorts, which I absolutely love. Ignore this mark on it. I don't know how. I think it's come from the wash. I don't know how I've got it on there. But yeah, these are the Elevate shorts. Really high waistband. Again, not too compressive. That deep waistband that goes round. And then they have like the T seam, again, going down the back. These are a little bit longer. I think these are about 6-inch, so it's going to give you a little bit more coverage, but it's not a cycling length short. Again, the bands around the thighs on these aren't that tight, which I think is quite nice. And I think these are marketed more for like rest days, yoga, Pilates, like something that's a bit more low intensity, but I do love wearing these for running as well. But I will say they ride up just a little bit. So for that, I'm going to give them a 4 out of 5. But for sizing, I would say stay true to size as much as possible, and then just size up if you are in between. Okay, next we have the Apex Lift Seamless shorts. I absolutely love these. They have the dipped waistband on the back, which at first I thought I wasn't going to like, but I do absolutely love them. I think they look so flattering on. I will be putting like clips of everything so you can see what they look like on. They do have quite an out there pattern, but I think it's quite nice with it just being like the black and then the one colour. And the way they've done it for like the contouring going around your glutes just makes them look even more flattering. And even like the pattern on the front as well just makes your waist look really like cinched and like tight, which is nice. The waistband is a double thickness waistband, so it is going to hold you in. This material here is very fine and very stretchy, also very soft. I feel like, I don't know if Gymshark have any of the materials like this. It's just like very soft. I wouldn't say silky, it's more like soft and maybe slightly brushed. But yeah, just a really comfortable short, perfect for the gym. They do have the really obvious V-seam, really thick running down your glutes, which just works so well with the dipped waistband as well. For these, I think stay true to size, but you probably could get away with sizing down if you are in between sizes if you want that compression. But for rating, I think I'm going to give them a 5 out of 5. These are so good for the gym and just so flattering. Okay, next up we have the Apex Seamless. So these ones are called Apex Lift, and then these ones are called Apex Seamless. And despite them being very similar in names and also kind of in pattern, I suppose, the material on these is a bit different. These are more similar to the Energized Seamless, I would say, with the material. They're not as like soft brush, but again, they haven't got that silky material. Very stretchy, very fine. The waistband is very thick and compressive. Can you see it's like got the ribs going all the way around? But I do love the contouring on this. Like the line detail is so nice, especially round on your glutes. And again, they've done that same thing on the front with the waist, just to make it give you the illusion of a smaller waist. These are about a 5-inch length, but I do find they ride up a little bit. Once you've got them on and like you've started moving around, they do come up. So for that reason, I'm going to give them a 4 out of 5. But yeah, I do absolutely love the contouring. The material is really stretchy, supportive, but it's not going to be too restrictive for working out in. For sizing, stay true to size as much as possible. And if you're in between, size up. Okay, next up we have a very out there short. I just don't have any of the plain ones of these. These are the only ones I have. So these are the Reps Power Shorts. I'll be honest with you, this rating is going to be very low. For some reason on me, they just don't fit that well. I find the waistband really tight. But then this is really like loose and not very compressive at all. I do love the design of them with the really high waistband. It's got the scrunch going down the back. It's a really nice length. The material is super silky. And I think the pattern's really cool, but it's just that waistband, it's so tight. And also the seam that runs along the edge of the waistband is quite thick as well, which just makes them feel so much tighter. But I do really like them. I just feel like even if I sized up, they're not going to fit because they're going to be perfect on my waist, but then loose on the rest of my body. So for that reason, I'm going to give them a 2 out of 5. But if you do want to go for these, because I know they have like a black and also a red, I would suggest sizing up at least one size to make sure they fit around your waist. Okay, last pair of tight shorts that I have to show you are the Soft Sculpt. I think it's called Soft Sculpt. Let me just check my... Oh yeah, Soft Sculpt shorts. Sorry, there's so many names. I'm like getting muddled up. Soft Sculpt shorts. These are more of like an everyday, lower intensity. You're going out for coffee with friends, you're going on your hot girl walk, things like that, rather than you're in the gym lifting really heavy or doing really high intensity cardio. I think that's how they've been designed, but I really like them. As you can see, they are quite short, so they do sit just under your bum cheek, but the material is so nice that you can really feel that this is like a more premium material. It's super soft, not too thick, but is quite stretchy as well, so it molds to your body really well. The waistband also is a little different than the other collections. So most of the other collections have the like ribbed waistband, but these have, I don't actually know what you call it, if you can see that. Apparently it's meant to help it like stay in place and be more comfortable. And I do find that these are really comfortable short. They do also have the seam running down the back to help separate your glutes. I do absolutely love this collection, especially the shorts and also the tank tops. Just makes a really cute matching set for summer. For sizing, I would say stay true to size or size up. I think because they are quite short and the waistband is compressive, if you are in between and you size down, you are going to find it's too tight. So yeah, size up if you are in between in these, but just a really nice collection. For rating for these, I'm going to give them a 5 out of 5. Okay, moving on to just a few pairs of loose shorts that I have. Okay, so firstly, I couldn't make a video about Gymshark shorts without talking about the training loose fit shorts. I think I have every colour of these. I don't think this colour is available anymore, at least in the UK region. So yeah, but they normally do have a few colours available, but they do sell out quite fast as well, just because they're so popular. A really lightweight, breathable short, perfect for running and for doing your cardio in. They do sit like high-waisted, but you can wear them slightly lower-waisted as well. I feel like they have really good coverage around your bum. A lot of the times now, like the loose like running shorts are so short and you can kind of see everything, like everything is on display, but these aren't like that at all. They also have a gel lining on the inside of the waistband, so if you are going to put it like against your skin, it stays in place really well and doesn't ride up, which is perfect when you're like running or doing high intensity cardio and you don't want like your clothes moving around. This is a really good option, and for that reason I'm going to give them a 5 out of 5. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, for sizing for this, stay true to size, or you could size down if you are in between. I wear a small, which is my normal size, and they have a little bit of room on the waist, so maybe I could have sized down. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the mesh shorts. So I have a pair of the women's mesh shorts, which came out recently, and then I also have the men's mesh shorts, which have been out for a while. They have loads of different colours and patterns in the men's, so yeah, don't sleep on the men's section. They have some great stuff. So the men's, I'll show you these. These like a really thick, mesh short. Like I said, it has the Gymshark Gymshark Lifting Club logo here. And I think there's about 3 or 4 layers in here at least, so they are a bit thicker, but again, just really nice. Like if you don't want to wear a tight short to the gym, these are a really great option. They look great with like a small sports bra, like a minimal bra. They do have a drawstring as well, and they have pockets. So yeah, and I find the men's fit really well. So like I said, I normally wear a small, but in the men's I can get away with wearing extra small and a small. The waistband I think fits very similar to what the waistband would in the women's. But if you aren't sure, I maybe size up, because it does have a drawstring, you can kind of tie it. It does look good when these are oversized too. And for rating for these, I'm going to give these a 5 out of 5 because I feel like these are slept on and underrated so much, but they work so well. And then just to show you the women's ones, so these are very similar. They don't have the drawstring though. That's the only thing I wish they had about these. Very similar length, maybe a little bit shorter than the men's. Maybe not. I feel like they look shorter when they're on. Still have the pockets, have that nice mesh material with a few layers inside. Just like a really comfortable loose short, and again with the Gymshark Lifting Club logo like this, and I do believe they have other colours of these. In terms of sizing, I would say stay true to size or size up in these as well. Then a rating for these, I think I'm going to give the women's a 4 out of 5. I just wish they had the drawstring. Like having a drawstring makes everything so much easier. So yeah, other than that, I do absolutely love them though. And that is all the shorts I'm going to show you today. I feel like I do have a few more like in the wash dotted around, but that is most of the main collections and like the most popular collections on Gymshark right now for the gym, but also like for running and cardio. Feel free to message me if you have any more questions specifically about collections I've shown or others you want some more information on. And like I said, don't forget to use code TORIFIT10 to get an extra 10% off your order, but you may want to hold off just a few more days before you do that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll be back with another video very soon.